This is Scratch Your Own Itch, the one show that delivers the conversations that we're afraid to share, but need to. This show is all about creating a life worth living. I'm Logan Tyler Nelson, and I'm your host. So, you're going to hear conversations with creators and entrepreneurs talk about what they do, their current and past traumas, how they became who they are, and what they are truly curious about. This is the show where we talk about the things we think about a lot, but need to talk about more. Please take note that this show is not a substitute for actually creating a life worth living, because this show will stir your beliefs, make you question what it means to create a life worth living. So my promise to you is to always give you one question to answer for yourself today to start turning your dreams into a reality. Hey, ladies and gents. So, this is an episode where I am going to just talk about podcasting and my journey with it, and scratch your own itch and what it means to scratch your own itch. First of all, if you haven't heard my story, I'll just quickly run that down. I graduated college with an acting degree, and I love acting. I still do. I still think it's gonna be something that I'll do, later on. But I'm not currently in it. I do a little bit of voice work, not for money, to be totally upfront, just for my own entertainment. I love doing that. If you're following me, you've probably realized that I love doing voices. I think it's so much fun, It's great. It's great. A great amount of time. But the thing is, my story is this. I graduated college and I separated myself from a lot of people. And I broke relationships, and I just dedicated my entire life to acting. And I thought I wanted to be that. Then I had an identity shift, and I got really scared. I was pouring myself into a craft that I thought was going to be something that I would do for the rest of my life. And then the sheer idea of just telling someone that I didn't want to be an actor anymore, or I don't know, let down the world, because the world looked at me as if I was an actor, to just not go with that anymore, scared the life out of me. So much to the point where I tried to take my own life. I walked up a 3-story parking garage. I looked down and I jumped. And it's hard to talk about, but I thought I was gonna be done after that. I was hoping I would be gone. And because of that, I learned really quickly that the worst thing that can happen to us is death. And so what I've gotten through this whole journey of podcasting is that is literally the worst thing that can happen. As morbid, as crazy as it sounds, if you're facing some sort of fear right now, whether it be because of money, because of a relationship that you don't want to end, or maybe a relationship you don't want to start, or you're scared to start, or maybe there's a fear that you're facing where you don't want to start a job, but you need to, or maybe you want to start a company, but you You need to, because you just keep on getting punched in the gut that you need to start this thing. And that's what scratching your own itch means. It's facing that fear of finding clarity by actually going for it. Going for it, like completely going for it. Because you can't find any clarity at all by just thinking about scratching your own itch. You have to actually take action, move your freaking body or hand or whatever it is, and start scratching your own itch and feeling better. And that's the thing that you should always do as much as possible, is get yourself out of your head and just go for it. And I get it. Sometimes it's hard because we're all victims of wanting to just consume content. Just overanalyze things before we take any new action. And usually 9 times out of 10, we didn't choose the best choice, but we did our best. And that's the thing to remember, is that if you know you're doing your best, there's no reason to regret. There's no reason to just beat yourself up. So, yeah, that's what scratching your own itch really means. It's taking action upon this itch, this extreme desire to face the fear, even though it kind of sucks. So, I hope that this clears up some questions to what scratch your own itch means. And also, it allows you to give yourself permission to really just go through with it. Just go through with it, no matter what you're facing right now. And I think the best advice I ever got out of all the episodes I've had, and out of all the sort of like amazing wisdom that's ever come out of this show, is that thinking actually hurts us more than just taking action. It really does. Thinking can actually end up hurting you. And that's the problem, is as human beings, we love to think, but unfortunately we don't get anything really done with just thinking. And if you do make a mistake, let's say you spend some money on something that you shouldn't have, or maybe you made a bad deal with somebody in a business, or maybe there's a plethora of things that you probably could do wrong with making a big decision, but that's okay. Like, that is totally okay. Because you'll probably beat yourself up more for the things you didn't try than the things that you did that failed. So, we have one life to live. And you gotta think about the end in mind constantly. Constantly, you have to. Because if you don't, then you may forget why you're working so hard anyways. So, thank you so much for tuning in to this little episode of the definition of scratch your own itch.
There'll be girls across the nation that'll eat this up. They don't know that it's your soul, but could you bottle it up? Get down to the heart of it. No, it's my heart. You're shit out of your luck. Don't make me tell you again. Woo! Love, love, love. Hey. Love, 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 love.
Oh, wow. You made it to the very end of the show. Thank you so much for tuning in for another episode of Scratch Your Own Itch with your host, Logan Tyler Nelson. To make it to the end, gosh, that doesn't happen very much nowadays. I mean, especially with the constant distraction. So I appreciate all of the efforts that you just took out of your day to make it to the end. And if you hit that subscribe button and leave a review, you would have no idea what that would mean to me. So thank you so much for taking the time to hit that subscribe button. And if you leave a review, check it out. Just screenshot it, send it to me, and I'd love to host your review out on the show. But don't ever forget, like I say, you matter and you're enough.
Love is the main reason for how all this happened. Love for all my fans, love for all the shows. Got love for all my memories, no matter where I go. Even if I'm out to nothing, I know there's always something. It's not a fitness test, but it'll always